Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So glad you're here because today's video was so much fun. So I used a box from Dollar Tree and these wood planks from Dollar Tree. I took the wood planks and I cut them down to size, and I'm going to add them to the box to make more spaces and different size spaces. A diorama usually has skinny areas, fatter areas, and this just needed to be tweaked a little bit. So using wood glue, I'm going to add these planks to different areas of the box and kind of brainstorm of where I want these to be. No rhyme or reason, but I wanted all four sections to have just a little bit more defined areas to them to make this more of a diorama. So I'm going to show you the process of me doing this and just adding these wood planks in the four squares to create a whole different look to this box. Now, I had cut that one just a little bit too small and it didn't actually fit in that square, so I moved it over to the next square and it fit perfect. And like I said, I'm just brainstorming and putting these in different areas to make this really look like a diorama. Okay, so that looks amazing. I love the different sections. I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to give it a great coat of black spray paint. Now is the fun part. Now you go in your stash and you pick out different items that you want to put in your diorama. And I love Jim Holtz. I absolutely love it. I'm going to link everything I used in the description box below with the Amazon link, just so you guys can go check it out. No, I'm not trying to get you guys to buy anything, just so you can see where I got it from, what it comes with, all that good stuff. So now I'm going to just take different sections that I picked out and I'm going to start making my backdrop for the diorama and putting paper in the sections. And this one, it actually comes up the side. I did that on purpose because I just want this to be full of items and full of decor, and I don't want it all being the same. It was amazing how, with me just putting those planks in different areas, how this worked out, because it worked out pretty perfect. These little things I wanted to use to decorate it fit in the squares perfectly. Oh my gosh, I couldn't have measured and gotten this any better. So right now, all I'm doing is adding the background, and I probably will come in a little bit later and I'll add more to it. But what was so much fun for me and why I enjoyed this project so much is I struggle with less is more. I want more is more. I always want to just keep going and going and going and keep adding and adding. And with a diorama, that's what you want to do. So this fit my personality to a T, because the more you put in it, the more awesome it becomes, which is right up my alley. Now, I have a little box full of cuttings from magazines, and I knew I had cut out two Halloween-ish style, and I actually found them. So I was very happy. One has apothecary jars on it, and one has pumpkins. The Tim Holtz was cardstock, so I could use hot glue. But for the magazine paper, I just used a glue stick to put those in, and that worked out really well. You could use craft glue as well, but if you use hot glue, you're going to have bumps. So I try to stay away from hot glue and paper just because you're going to have the bumps of the hot glue. So I got those down and I just keep adding more, because this was so much fun. I had a little clock that I put in there, and I am still just working on getting a really awesome looking background. And I just keep adding things that I think would go within that mystical theme. Now, I showed you guys these before. These are die cut cardboard frames. And I think I got 4 packages. Some are windows, some are frames. It was amazing. You get so many. Like I said, I'll have all the links down below if you want to check these out. But right now I'm going through my cardstock and I'm kind of just seeing what will work for this project and setting those aside. There were some pictures in that Tim Holtz, and I thought that would be really neat to add to this as well. So I do add some of those pictures that came with it and gluing those down. Like I said, the cardstock, you can use hot glue. And I just keep filling that background, filling it up until I have it just the way I want. I thought these pictures were a really, really cute touch. I was kind of happy they were in there. I had a metal plaque from Tim Holtz as well that I wanted to add to this, but I didn't want it to be pressed up into the back because you would lose it. So I grabbed one of those little crafter square blocks and I put it up top and I painted it black. And that's going to be just a backdrop so that I can put my plaque on it. That little square fit perfectly in that space. Like I said, I couldn't have measured to get how perfect things were working out for this. And then I took that plaque and I hot glued it to the square. Now it's front and center and you're not losing it in the back. Right now, I'm not sure why I showed you that first because I already had this bottle and it was full of small little keys from another project and that fit perfectly right there. So I am going to set that in there. It actually fits pretty tight, so I did not glue it down. Now, going back to those table legs, I had bought a package of table legs and I thought that would be cool to use as a broomstick. So I cut the one table leg off. You don't have to worry about the other one. You're not going to see it. I took some twine. I wrapped it around my finger. I took the table leg and I kind of made a gap in the twine and pushed that table leg into the twine. Then I took another piece of twine and I tied it around the top. And first I tied it and then I wrapped it around and hot glued it to the back. Once everything was secure, then I could start cutting the broom. And I cut the top where it is attached to the wood, and I also cut the bottom to make the broom. I used a furniture marker in cherry, and once I had my broom all set, I used that furniture marker to color the wood, because I think the handle was kind of getting lost with the twine, and I just wanted it to stand out just a little bit more. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I absolutely love those furniture markers. They are great for wood. It dries super fast and you're not dirtying a paintbrush. So once I had my broom, I hot glued that down into that square. So stinking cute. I love the cherry against the twine. I think that works out perfect. So now I took a cloche and I bought a package of cloches off Amazon and I put some reindeer moss in the bottom of the cloche. First I put some down just to make sure I had it exactly where as much as I wanted. Then I took hot glue and kind of working fast here, I put a bunch of hot glue down. I put the reindeer moss down. I grabbed my little skull head, put him down, and it still was working with that same hot glue. And then I put that cloche on real quick, which also went into the hot glue and kept that piece all together. How cute is that? I added hot glue to the bottom and I glued my little skull cloche down. Oh my gosh, so much fun. You guys can just go through your stash and find things. I had bought these little miniatures and it actually had a little organ, and I thought that would be cute in here as well. So I put my little organ down in that section. So I bought a thrifted picture frame, which you're going to see in next week's video. And inside that picture frame was this photo. And I don't know, I just thought she kind of had I don't know, I don't want to be mean. Eeriness about her. I guess I'm trying not to be mean, but I thought she would be perfect in my mystical cabinet. So I grabbed one of the die cut frames and I cut her picture down and put her in a frame. And I am going to use craft glue and put it all over the back of this and glue her down to the section of the worded paper. I think the worded background is perfect. The fact that the background is like a beige-ish and the frame is black and her picture's beige, I think it goes perfectly. And I don't know, she just had a look to her that she belonged in a mystical Halloween cabinet. So now I'm going to take the little jars from Dollar Tree. I'm going to fill one of the jars with moss. I'm going to fill another one with some cut down twine. And I'm going to fill another one with cotton. I'm kind of staying within like the herb theme for this cabinet. I'm not doing like one of my Halloween apothecary jars. This is more kind of the herbalist jars that I think really belong in this cabinet. So you're not going to see me put a label on this, and I'm not going to be using my slime. I'm not going for the Halloween look. I'm just kind of staying earthy with this. And the twine is perfect. The reindeer moss is perfect. The cotton ball gives it that whiteness. And I'm keeping the original lids on the smaller jars. But on the cotton ball jar, I'm going to take some burlap and I'm going to make my own lid to go with that earthy vibe I have going. So I just cut down some burlap and I'm going to hot glue it to the top. I am going to take some twine and go around it, and that's going to be the lid for this jar. I keep losing my voice. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. But I thought the jars would go perfect in the section where I had put the apothecary picture magazine cutout. So I'm going to fill this section with those jars. I am using some super glue from Dollar Tree because hot glue and glass don't like each other. So I am gluing these down with super glue. And I originally put 3 jars in this section, but you're going to see me come in and actually add a 4th jar to this section as well. Now, that jar that has the cotton, it came with a metal lid, and that was way too bright for this project. So I took one of my furniture markers, and I think this one is oak, and I went around the lid with the furniture marker, inside, outside, all over. Then I came in with a darker furniture marker and kind of just highlighted different areas to make it look old and rusted and like it's been around for a while. I hot glued that down next to the apothecary jars. And I'm going to come in and put a little bit of hot glue inside of that lid and add some moss. And that's when I was adding the reindeer mosses when I found this beautiful leaf inside the reindeer moss. And I thought, oh, I can't let that leaf go to waste. So I grabbed that beautiful leaf. I put just that single leaf in one of the little jars and put a lid on it. I'm going to add that to my grouping of jars as well. Now, I had these metal reindeer, these metal bells for Christmas. And I don't know, I just thought that it kind of went with this and it looked like it belonged. So I put that on top of the reindeer moss inside of that lid. And I'm right now super gluing the leaf in the jar down to the front. So stinking cute. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm having so much fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Now, I had a skeleton hand from Dollar Tree, and I wanted things kind of poking out of this box, not it being just a flat box. I thought that skeleton hand would be really cute right there, and I'm going to add to that as well. Now, I had gotten I think it came 5 in a pack of these dress forms, and I wanted to add the dress form in this as well. I took some of this creepy white creepy cloth, and I was gonna kind of put it all around that dress form, and I thought this would be perfect, but it was just too much creepy cloth. So I pulled some away from it. I kept pulling and pulling. I ended up with just a couple strands of creepy cloth. I didn't want to lose the dress form. That dress form was so cool with it being black, and I just thought it fit in here so well. And I just wanted a little bit of creepy cloth. So you see me keep grabbing it, pulling it away until I got it to look exactly how I wanted it. So that dress form, I do not glue it down because I can push that in and it fits securely right in that area. Oh my gosh, so awesome. I'm sorry, but I just had so much fun with this. I could not wait to show you guys this project. I think I had more fun with this one than my apothecary cabinet, which is really odd because I love my apothecary cabinet. But I had this beautiful blue rose, and I thought that that would work perfectly sitting on top of that skull hand. So I just used some hot glue and I glued that rose right down to the hand. It adds that pop of color. That rose looks vintage and old, and it needed that pop of color. We have a lot of beige and black going on. I grabbed one of my miniature mirrors, and I grabbed one of my die cut. This is like a window, I think. And I'm going to just cut part of that window off. And I'm going to glue the mirror right above the apothecary bottles. Once I have the mirror glued down, I'm going to glue down with some craft glue the die cut mold over the mirror. I love putting mirrors in these cabinets, and I thought this was a perfect little addition to that space that didn't have anything in it right now. So there's the mirror, and then I glued the die cut window on top of that mirror. Dollar Tree had these push pins that look like crystals, and I thought that would be neat to add some hot glue to the bottom of it where the push pin is and put it in the holes of that metal plaque. So I just hot glued one push pin on each side of that plaque where the holes are. I thought that added to it, and I really liked how that turned out. I loved these push pins so much, and I thought that this mystical cabinet needed like crystals as well. So I took one of those push pins and put some hot glue on it, and I put it in the lid right next to that ball and inside the reindeer moss. So now there's like a little crystal inside there as well. I could have kept going and going, I'm telling you, with this. So I had a doily that I had cut up for another project, and I thought that would be perfect to put down and hot glue that right into that section with a little bit of the doily hanging down. I did cut just a little bit off of it because it was hanging down just a little too much, but the white really made that area pop, and I'm losing my voice again as well. So I was trying to add whites and different colors in each section so it wasn't all just being mundane in one color. I wanted the greens and the beiges and black, and really trying to be mindful now where I'm putting things. Right now is another one of those Tim Holtz, I don't know what you would call it, but the cardstock I'm adding as well. And inside that package was letters, envelopes, and I thought that would be neat to glue down an envelope onto the doily. And that's all I did right here is glue that down. Once I had the envelope glued down into place, I had a metal clock, and I thought that would be good to put some hot glue on the back and on the bottom, and I kind of catty cornered it and glued that next to the envelope in the corner of that section. I love those vintage kind of rustic looking clocks. I think that is actually Tim Holtz as well. So now I'm going to take some of those die cuts, well, just one right now, but I thought it would be neat to kind of frame this area. And since that die cut window fit perfect in this corner, I decided to use the cream colored side. Each of these die cuts have a different color. So this one, the one side was cream and one side was white. I thought the cream side looked better, so I'm going to add that cream die cut window right there, and that really puts a pop of brightness to this box. Some of the die cuts are black on one side and white on the other, and you'll see that as well. So now I'm taking another one of those pictures and I'm going to cut it down, and I'm going to add another picture as well to the diorama. I'm really loving, like, that window is amazing. I really like that because it kind of highlights that one section of it, and I love how each section kind of tells its own little story. And I put that picture, there was kind of a void space next to the cloche. I put that picture next to that space. What's great about this is you can just keep layering and layering and layering, and it seems like every layer works. It really does. It just kind of brings it to life. I had some little keys, so I'm using hot glue, or not hot glue, I'm using super glue, and I'm just gluing these two little miniature metal keys next to the envelope. I saved a magazine because I knew I was going to be doing this project and I wanted to make a few books. So I'm cutting on the outside of the binder. Now this is just a magazine that is kind of rounded. I'm probably not making any sense, but some magazines you get have a square side, some are rounded. This is a rounded magazine. I'm just cutting out a section, keeping my cuts around where the staple is. I had this leather repair tape that I had used for a project for our furniture, and I had a lot of it left over, and I thought leather books would be perfect for this diorama. So you guys have seen me before use magazines to make books, and I use Scrabble pieces as well. So right now I'm kind of just eyeballing where to cut the leather. It's 3M sticky leather on the other side, so that's amazing. You don't have to use glue or hot glue because once you peel off the back, it's very sticky. The adhesive on this is amazing. So right now you're going to see me make some books using the Scrabble pieces. I'm also going to make some books using that magazine that I had cut. These leather books are turning out so cute. So I thought it would be neat to put some twine around the magazine books. I make two of these, and they weren't staying open the way I wanted them to, so I decided that they needed just to be closed. So I took a little bit of twine and just tied it around the book and then cut off the excess. And I really like how that turned out. And then it wasn't you weren't being able to see the magazine pages. I think that's why I didn't like the book being open. You could see too much of the magazine pages. So I wanted to make a medicine bag, And I took some of that leather and I wrapped it all around the Scrabble piece so that the leather would come up and you could see it kind of look like it was the part that you would close when you wrap it all around the Scrabble piece. I got that idea from doing this book right here. So you see this book, how it kind of comes back up. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make a medicine bag. I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, before I make that medicine bag, some of those cardstock from Tim Holtz, there was like some really little pieces. I didn't even care what they said, but I'm just going to glue those down to the binder of the book just to make it look more authentic, like it's a book. I do that on all of the books I made out of Scrabble pieces. Okay, and then after I'm done doing this, we'll come back and make that medicine bag that I was talking about. Okay, so here's the medicine bag. I cut my leather just a little bit longer so that it would have a flap. So when I'm wrapping it around the Scrabble piece, it's going to have a flap that doesn't show up too well on the camera, unfortunately, but you can see the flap kind of coming over. I went and grabbed the tiniest little black button that I could find, and I'm just putting a little bit of hot glue. I'm going to glue that button down to mimic where the bag would close. So right now you see me just adding just a little button, and that's going to be my little medicine bag. I made some more books using Scrabble pieces, some more of the labels from Tim Holtz, and I hot glued 3 of them together. And here's where I'm going to ask you guys to do your awesomeness that you've been doing with my videos. And if you like what you see, now's the time to hit that like button, leave me a comment, tell me what you like about this project, and if you're new, hit that subscribe button. All of those things are easy and free for you to do, but it helps YouTube. It lets YouTube know you like what you see, and it helps out my channel so much. Now using one of those die cuts, as you can see, one side is black, one side is white. It kind of had like a roses design to it. So I am using the white side and I cut that down and put that down, and that's going to be where my books are going to go. The one Scrabble book I had done on the other side, so it's actually smaller, as you can see. Just by flipping it and putting the leather around the other side, it makes a smaller, shorter book. And I glued all 3 of those together, added some hot glue to the bottom, and I'm going to glue those books down to this section. I'm also going to glue down one of the magazine books I made right next to it. I'm going to glue the other magazine book on the top of this stack of books to kind of look like she just threw a book, is just throwing her books on the shelf. And I'm going to glue the medicine bag caddy corner in the corner of this section. Okay, I got my books all in place now. Now I'm going to take one of those die cut windows frames and cut it into 4 sections, cutting the tops off, and I'm going to utilize the side as well. And I'm going to use the black side, and I am just going to glue these down with craft glue in different areas just to add some more detail to the cabinet. So you're going to see me glue one in the corner. You're going to see me glue one right here. It's going to be facing down, just to add some more details to my cabinet. To add some more texture to this, I use some Spanish moss now. And I'm going to add the Spanish moss in by the bottles. I'm also going to put some Spanish moss on either side of that blue rose, just to add some more texture to this piece. So I wanted this to be on a base. So I took a candlestick from Dollar Tree and I painted it black. And this netting is actually a bag from a bag of spiders I bought. And I save the netting always because I know I'll be using it for Halloween projects. So I'm just going to take that netting and I'm going to glue it down into the candlestick. It just adds texture, I guess, to the candlestick, and it really kind of goes with the mystical theme, having it I'm losing my train. Just having some netting around the base. So I'm going to use super glue and I'm going to use hot glue, and I'm going to glue the box to the candlestick. I'm also going to take a Jenga block from Dollar Tree because they are a lot smaller than regular Jenga blocks. And I'm going to secure the back of this because, as you can see, when I glue this down, you can see the opening still to the candlestick. And to make sure that this stays, I'm just going to grab a Jenga block. I'm going to add some hot glue to the bottom and to the side, and I'm going to glue that down into the space. After I have that secured and it actually glues down to the candlestick and it glues to the box itself, I take some acrylic paint and I paint it black to match the rest of the box. It blends in perfectly and it adds that extra layer of security so the box won't fall off. I mentioned earlier I wanted some crystals, so I went and grabbed my little stash of beads and crystals. And these little tablescape, I think they're like peach crystals. They fit perfectly inside one of the little Dollar Tree jars. So I thought that would be neat to put a jar of crystals inside this as well. While I was going through all my little beads and tablescape items, I found this white kind of crystal clear ball, and look at that. I didn't even know I had that. It's amazing what you find in your stash. So I thought for the bottle top, this would be so perfect to have a clear crystal ball as the topper to the bottle of crystals. So I used a little bit of hot glue and I glued that ball right to the top of my bottle. And I couldn't imagine this bottle of crystals turning out any cuter. This was just the perfect little addition to the box. Look how cute that is. That top looks like it belongs with the bottle. So I will be using that in the future when I make some bottles now. And I glue that down inside the area where the window is, next to the dress form. And here's the final look. Oh my gosh. This turned out so good. It was so much fun to make. Let me know in the comments below what's your favorite. Do you like this project? Are you going to attempt this? I love hearing you guys' comments. As I said before, YouTube love your interactions and it really pushes my video out to be seen. I've gotten so many new subscribers. I'm so grateful you all are here. And that's because you liked, you commented, and you shared. So I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. I have one more video for Halloween next week, and that'll end my Halloween videos. But as always, I hope you guys are having a blessed and most wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday with a very, very unique and different video. Love you guys. Bye, y'all.